There's a road that only appears during the full moon. Never walk it, my father warned. But curiosity won. I followed it deep into the woods, where lanterns flickered and shadows moved. Then I saw my own house ahead, but something was wrong. My family stood outside, smiling too wide. "You made it back," they said in unison. Just like last time. I grew up in a small town in northern Pennsylvania, tucked between the Allegheny National Forest and the endless hills that roll toward New York. Our house sat at the edge of the woods, close enough that you could hear the coyotes at night and see deer in the backyard every morning. It was the kind of place where people left their doors unlocked and kids played outside until the fireflies came out. My dad was a quiet man. He worked at the paper mill and came home smelling like wood pulp and sweat. He didn't talk much, but when he did, you listened. One of the few things he ever warned me about was the road. "There's a road that only shows up during the full moon," he told me one night when I was about 10. We were sitting on the porch, the moonlight casting long shadows across the yard. "It runs through the woods, past the old quarry. You'll know it when you see it. But if you ever do, don't walk it. No matter what." I asked him why, but he just shook his head. "Some things are better left alone," he said. I didn't think much of it at the time. Kids hear all sorts of stories, and I figured it was just one of those things parents say to keep you from wandering too far. But as I got older, I started to notice things. Every full moon, the woods seemed different. Quieter, like the animals were hiding. And sometimes, just as the moon reached its peak, I thought I saw a faint glow through the trees, like lanterns flickering in the distance. I tried to ignore it, but the curiosity gnawed at me. I wanted to see the road, to know if it was real. So one night, when I was 17 and my parents were asleep, I grabbed a flashlight and headed into the woods. The moon was full, casting a silver light over everything. I walked past the backyard, through the trees, and toward the old quarry. The air was still, and the only sound was the crunch of leaves beneath my feet. Then I saw it. A narrow dirt road, winding through the trees. It hadn't been there before. I stepped onto it, and the world seemed to change. The air grew colder, and the trees loomed taller. Lanterns hung from branches, their flames flickering without wind. I walked for what felt like hours, the road twisting and turning. Shadows danced at the edge of my vision, and I could hear whispers, just out of earshot. I tried to turn back, but the road behind me was gone, replaced by dense forest. Panic set in, but I kept walking. Eventually, I saw a clearing ahead. As I stepped into it, I froze. There, in the middle of the woods, was my house. But something was off. The paint was peeling, the windows cracked. And standing outside were my parents and younger sister, smiling too wide. "You made it back," they said in unison. Just like last time. My heart pounded. I tried to speak, but no words came. I took a step back, and their smiles widened. "Come inside," they said. "We've been waiting." I turned and ran, the forest closing in around me. Branches clawed at my clothes, and the whispers grew louder. I didn't stop until I burst into my real backyard, gasping for air. I never spoke of that night. But every full moon, I see the faint glow through the trees. And I remember their smiles, waiting in the dark. I didn't sleep much after that night. The image of their faces, my family but not really my family, haunted me. Their smiles were wrong. Too wide, too still, like they had been painted on. And their voices, they all spoke at the same time, like one voice in three mouths. That wasn't how my mom talked. That wasn't how my sister giggled or how my dad cleared his throat before saying anything. But the worst part? They knew something I didn't. Just like last time. That phrase stuck in my head like a splinter. What did they mean by last time? I'd never walked that road before, right? I tried to tell myself it was just a dream or a trick of the light. But I knew it wasn't. The scratches on my arms from the branches were real. My mud-covered boots were real. And the path, when I looked toward the woods the next morning, was gone again. No trace. I didn't say anything to my parents. My dad would have just gone silent like he always did. And my mom would have given me that worried look that meant she didn't know what to say. I kept it to myself, but I started noticing other things. Like the fact that every full moon, I'd lose track of time. Even when I stayed inside. One moment it'd be 10 p.m., and the next thing I knew, it was 2:30 in the morning, and I'd be standing by the back door, hand on the knob. Like I'd been about to leave. Like something had called me. Then there were the dreams. They didn't start right away, but about a month after that night in the woods, they came hard and fast. I'd be standing in the same clearing, that broken version of our house in front of me. Every time, they'd be waiting outside, still smiling, still saying the same thing, "You made it back." Just like last time. Only now, sometimes they added more. This one night, my dad looked straight at me, same flannel shirt he always wore, but his eyes were all black, like ink. He leaned forward and whispered, "You don't remember what you did. But you will." That messed with me. I started having these flashes, like memories, but wrong. Me, younger. Holding a lantern. Someone running. Screaming in the woods. A hand grabbing mine. But I couldn't hold on to the details. They'd slip away like fog when I woke up. I tried to shake it off. I went about my days, went to school, did chores. But my grades dropped. I started snapping at people. I couldn't sleep for more than a few hours at a time. I thought about going to a therapist, but how do you explain, "I saw a ghost version of my family in the woods and now they visit me in my dreams," without sounding like a complete maniac? Then I found something. It was in the attic, buried in a box of my dad's old hunting gear. There was a notebook, leather-bound and brittle. Inside were drawings. The road. The lanterns. The house in the woods. And page after page with strange symbols I didn't understand. On the back page, in my dad's handwriting, were just 3 lines: "Don't follow the road. Don't trust the voices. If you reach the house, run." My dad knew. I confronted him. Waited until he was alone, sitting on the porch smoking like he always did when he thought no one was watching. "You warned me about the road," I said. "Why?" He didn't answer right away. Just looked out at the trees. "There are things older than us," he finally said. "Things that remember what people forget. That road, it's not a place. It's a door." "A door to what?" He looked at me then. His face was pale, lips pressed tight. "Something that feeds on memory. On time. You walk it once, it finds you again. Over and over. Each time, it takes a little more." I felt like the world tilted under me. "How many times have I walked it?" I asked. He didn't answer. But I could see it in his eyes. I'd walked it before. Many times. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat by the window, staring at the tree line, waiting for the glow. It came around midnight. Soft, flickering light weaving through the branches. I couldn't stop myself. I got up and walked to the back door. My hand moved on its own. When I touched the doorknob, I felt heat. Like fire trapped inside ice. I forced myself to stop. Slammed the door and backed away. The next day, I skipped school and went into town. Hit the library, asked the old woman at the desk about local legends. She gave me a weird look but handed me a stack of articles. Most of them were just old ghost stories. But one thing stood out. Back in 1953, a family went missing. Same road. Same woods. The youngest son was found days later, wandering the street with no memory of who he was. His name? Henry Gales. My grandfather. He died before I was born. My dad never talked about him. But I started putting things together. The road didn't just haunt one person. It haunted bloodlines. Families. It followed generations. That's when I realized, this thing, this place, wasn't done with me. It never was. And if the dreams were right, if what they said was true, then maybe, just maybe, I'd already been down that road more times than I could remember. And each time, I lost a piece of myself. I couldn't ignore it anymore. Everything pointed to the same truth, this road, this place, it was part of me now. Or maybe it always had been. Over the next few days, I dug deeper. I looked through every dusty box in our attic, even the crawl space under the floorboards. That's when I found a photo, one that shouldn't exist. It was black and white, faded. My dad was in it, maybe 16 or 17. But he wasn't alone. Standing next to him was a boy who looked exactly like me. Same face. Same crooked nose. Same scar above the left eyebrow. On the back, someone had scribbled, Summer, 1975. After the walk. I felt sick. I ran to my dad, shoved the photo in his face. Who is this? I demanded. Why does he look like me? He didn't say a word. Just stared at the photo with this hollow look. Then he said, "That's you." No, it's not. This is from the 70s. He finally looked at me. You don't understand, he said. That place, it copies you. It plays with time. Sometimes it keeps a version of you there. Sometimes it lets one out. I backed away from him. Am I me? I asked, heart pounding. Or am I something else? He didn't answer. The full moon was coming again. I swore I wouldn't go back. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. What if the real me was still in there? What if this me was just a shadow, a ghost that thought it was real? I had to know. So I waited for the full moon. Packed a backpack, salt, matches, flashlight, the old notebook, and a piece of mirror. Don't ask me why. Just felt right. Midnight. The glow returned. And once again, I followed it. The road was there, same as before. Only this time, I walked faster. I wasn't scared. I was angry. Lanterns lit up as I passed. Shadows whispered behind the trees. The air grew cold, and the forest around me stretched, like I was walking into a painting being pulled off the wall. Then the house appeared. But this time, there were two of them. Side by side. Identical. And two sets of my family stood outside. Both smiling. Too wide. You made it back, they said in unison. Just like last time. I stepped closer. My heart felt like it was being squeezed. Then, one of the moms twitched. Just slightly. Her smile broke for a second. Her eyes darted to the other house. She mouthed something, "Help us." The other family didn't notice. And suddenly, I knew. One set was fake. One was real. But they were trapped. The road had split them, copied them, pulled part of their souls out, just like it did with me. I wasn't the only version walking around. I pulled out the mirror. Held it up. The fake ones, on the left, had no reflection. The real ones, on the right, winced. Like they hadn't seen their own faces in years. I turned to the left group. My voice shook. You're not real. They stopped smiling. Their faces shifted, mouths stretching into rows of teeth, eyes glowing like coals. "You shouldn't have come back," they hissed. I lit a match and threw salt at them. They screamed. High, horrible, like metal scraping bone. The road around them cracked. The house flickered like a dying light bulb. I ran to the real ones. "Come on." They didn't hesitate. We bolted into the woods. The fake house groaned, twisted into itself like it was being pulled down a drain. The forest shook. Then everything went black. When I woke up, I was back in my room. So were they. My mom, my dad, my sister. All confused. All scared. Like they had just woken up from a long, dark dream. I thought it was over. But it wasn't. The next full moon, I saw a glow in the woods again. Only this time, my reflection didn't show in the mirror. Just darkness. At first, I tried to brush it off. Maybe the mirror was old. Maybe the light was weird. I checked it the next day, in sunlight, in the bathroom, outside, nothing. My reflection was gone. I looked in every mirror in the house. Nothing stared back. That's when I knew, I hadn't made it out. Not really. Maybe the others had. Maybe I saved them. But whatever that place was, it still had a hold on me. I started to change. Little things at first. I didn't feel cold anymore. I stopped getting hungry. My voice sounded different in recordings, like it echoed, even when I was alone. My dog wouldn't come near me. He used to sleep by my bed every night. Now he growled if I walked into the room. One night, I caught my sister watching me from the hallway. I asked what was wrong, and she said, "Your eyes look like they're sleeping." I checked in the mirror again. Still nothing. But I could see a shape behind me now. Not in the room, only in the mirror. Tall. Thin. Watching. Waiting. I smashed the mirror. Didn't help. They knew something was wrong too. My mom started crying more. My dad kept staring at me like I was a stranger. Like he wanted to say something but didn't know how. Then came the night they tried to leave. I woke up to the sound of the truck starting. Looked out the window, bags in the back, my mom waving my sister into the cab. My dad saw me in the window. He didn't wave goodbye. They were gone before sunrise. Left me behind. I can't blame them. Something's living inside me now. Or maybe I'm what's left of what came out of that road. I don't know. I don't even know if I was ever the original. Maybe I was the copy all along. The dream started again last night. But this time I wasn't in the forest. I was in my house. Looking out the window. Watching another version of me step out of the woods. Dirty. Tired. But, human. He looked up and saw me staring back. He didn't smile. He screamed. Like he'd seen the devil himself. Then the dream ended. I don't sleep anymore. I don't trust shadows. The road doesn't need the full moon now, it glows every night. And when I step outside, I can hear voices in the trees. Calling my name. Not whispering anymore. Shouting. They're getting closer. And I think next time, when the door opens, I'll be the one standing on the porch. Smiling too wide. And saying in a voice not mine, "You made it back." Just like last time.